Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Crowley House Flower Farm. Today we are working in the studio. What my plan is I have to clean up and tidy up the gardens around the studio, and then I have a little event that I'm supposed to actually put together for a winery that's just up the road called Van Duzer, and they have a dinner tonight. They need a bar arrangement and 10 tabletop arrangements, so I'm going to be making some fall arrangements and I'm just going to quickly show you what I'm doing. But for the most part, we're going to be gardening today. We're going to give this studio a little facelift. It's very, very dusty. It's very overgrown. It needs some loving, and I've got a few things that I picked up from the nursery that I'm going to be popping in, and so I thought I would take you along. I wanted to show you as well a few things that have been added to the studio and give you a little tour of it. We have a new cooler, and I just want to show you kind of my thoughts going forward. So we've had some changes in here as well. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm looking forward to it because I did buy a few pumpkins, and I am going to be making and sharing my little recipe with you. As far as this time of year, I make a beautiful kind of special creamer that you can add to your coffee, and it's a sweet treat and it's something that I love, so I thought I would share it with you as well in this video. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. Happy fall. I hope you're getting out there and decorating and starting to get the home vibes again. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna go gather all my things and start working, cleaning, and getting this ready to go, and we will go from there. Okay, so here is the studio. It is a mess right now, so my job is to clean it up. So we have a ton of stuff. This is all like spring. I think this is called woodland forget-me-not that comes up every year. It's a perennial, comes back. Beautiful. We have just asters that fell over in a big storm that we had in June. We have some weeds as well, and then a whole bunch of construction stuff back there. So my job today is to try and get this little garden bed cleaned up, this monster Cecil Bruner kind of controlled, and then just tidy up the rocks around it. This is a new light that we just put in. And then I was doing like a post for something and I didn't have time to plant these guys, so I like laid them in. You guys, this is how pathetic I am sometimes. And I like literally just kind of like tucked them so no one could see that it was in a pot to show the new light. It's really funny. But anyways, I'm gonna plant that up. I've got a few things here. Got some pumpkins and some more pansies. I love pansies. And in fact, over on this side, we have an old scale that Jason, my husband, and I picked up from Facebook Marketplace, but a long time ago. So I have it out here. It reminds me of a old farmer that I used to love hanging out with sometimes when I was a kid. They had a prune orchard and they would weigh their prunes on here. What I want to do is take out these very dilapidated pansies that I put in probably last spring, but they have seen better days, and I'm going to make this beautiful again. So what I have is this gorgeous, huge Rudbeckia. I think it's called Sunseeker. And then I have some, I think, coreopsis, which is this little yellow perennial that will come back every year. I had a mum, but somebody bought it, so I'm not going to be planting the mum, but I will plant a mum or some sort of grass over here. So my idea is, so when people come to the nursery, so fall and winter, so we do the holiday Christmas time, and then also Thanksgiving and pumpkins for Halloween and decorating for fall. But anyways, so people drive in through this way, and then they park over here where the little nursery is here, and we have like Christmas trees, pumpkins, hay bales, things like that, mums. And so anyways, this is the new garden that you guys saw in our last video. Turn you around the house, and then we have more parking here, and then there's the entry. And turning around slowly so I don't make you sick, here is the studio. So this is the little garden bed I'm going to work on. Also, I'm going to cruise around the side and just get out any weeds and things like that, and then just clean this up, get that little light going, just something a little bit more appealing. And then I'm going to plant up this half wine barrel that is on the scale. Shouldn't take me too long, but yeah, I just got to get this really cleaned up because it's pathetic, and you can hardly even see in to the studio. Good job. Good job, guys. Hey, you get that one. Every year when you start to feel fall kind of creep in and you kind of get those home vibes and you're just wanting to kind of make the home cozy and just overall sense of kind of slowing down, at least for me. I don't know about you, but I love to make one of my favorite things to add to coffee. And as you know, coffee is one of my, I have a little bit of a problem with it. And I'm really working on actually trying to cut back and just have 1 to 2 cups a day. But coffee is one of those things that just bring me so much joy in the morning. And every year I make a recipe, and I've shared it on the YouTube before, but it's a pumpkin spice creamer. And when I'm trying to like not go and get coffees every morning or, save a little bit of money, this is a great way to do it. So I thought I would share it with you today. And it's really, really simple and easy. All you need is a container. I just have a little mason jar that I'm using to store it in because you want to store it in the fridge. I have some vanilla, a can of pumpkin, and then a can of condensed milk. So it is a little bit sweet. So normally, other than this time of year, I like to have my coffee just with a little bit of cream in it, no sweetener. So this is kind of like a sweet treat that I will have sometimes. But you also need some nutmeg and some cinnamon. So in my little bowl, I have about a teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of nutmeg. Now you can vary this, and I actually like to add a little bit more spice than what my recipe calls for. So it calls for 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of nutmeg, and I go like a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon and a little bulkier on the nutmeg. So everybody is a little bit different in how they like to have it. And to this, what I'm gonna add is 2 tablespoons of the pumpkin. So you're just gonna add it all together, combine it, mix it up really well, and then store it in your jar and then use it as you like for your coffee. Okay, it kind of looks like pumpkin pie filling, but it's thin. I don't know, I should probably taste it. I kind of did my own little thing here, so very pumpkin-y. I added a little more pumpkin as well, so just kind of intensified the flavors. And vanilla, I added, it says 1 teaspoon vanilla, and I added like 1.5. So I really like it. It's very pumpkin-y. Sometimes I feel like you couldn't taste the pumpkin in this recipe, so I just added a little bit more. And it also thinned it out just a little bit, which is kind of fun. So I'm just gonna pour it into my little mason jar and make some coffee. Get it going. I have a big day today. I'm doing a design for a winery, and we have a wedding we're working on and a few other things. So this is gonna be the perfect treat. All right, let's get it in the jar. There it is. All ready for fall now. Before I make my coffee, I'm going to just give you a quick look and see what kind of behind the scenes of what we've been doing here at Crowley House as far as the studio goes, just because we are going to be kind of making the studio look like fall. This is the start of it because not all the plants came in, and so I'm just getting it going, and it'll be fun, at least a little bit of rejuvenation to the gardens around it, a start to it. But yeah, there's more plants coming today. They just got delayed a little bit. So anyway, so I thought I would just show you the studio here a little bit, and yeah, so let's go. Okay, so as you can tell, we have a little bit of a wedding happening. We are getting ready to do some bud vases for it, so we have 2 different kinds, but this is the main area that we work. This is kind of like our keep us in line with all the weddings and everything that we have going. We have like a whiteboard that we write down like prices and things like that. This is a station that we do, like, it's on wheels so it can move. Jason made this. It's really nice. It's just like a workbench and it's aging well. We've got our chopping block here for stems and things like that when we're making things. This is where Riley works, and I do like it. Don't mind the camera, but I do like it just because there's a view out the carriage doors, and it's really nice because you can get like a breeze coming through here. We tend to hang flowers from the ceiling here this time of year. We don't have too much going right now, but this is kind of where we hang everything. On this side, we have a little desk that is got lots of stuff on it right now, but we're starting the makeover in here. Through this door, we have a lot of storage. So this is where we keep all of our supplies and things, and it's just kind of a tight little area and we need more room. So what we did is reconfigured, and I'll show you that in just a second, but this is where all the vases and everything are kept, and all of our wedding supplies, ribbon, things like that, rubber bands, paper, shipping stuff. Here used to be our cooler, and so it worked okay. It wasn't very efficient, but what we've done, let me turn the light on. So you can tell we've spray foamed insulation. So the new cooler is through that door here, and this is the area where we're going to be putting in more shelving for vases and things like that. So it's going to be kind of nice. We're just going to have it as a storage area. Right now it's got all the insulation that was in the old cooler pulled out. We're going to be repurposing that. And here, this is kind of cool. This is a light. So when the light is on, then you can kind of see it because we have 2 doors to this cooler. But off means that the light is on actually in the cooler. So if it's at night or dark, then we can see. But yeah, in here, so it's not quite finished, but this is a much larger cooler, which I'm sure will outgrow eventually, but as far as weddings go, this is going to be excellent. So we're planning on putting some shelving up and a few other things in here just to make it a little more efficient, but you have this door here as well. So you can kind of see that this door, this used to be the outside door, and then so this goes all the way to the studio, which is going to be a little bit of jog. I think we're going to try and find some old French doors that kind of open this up a little bit more. I'm not totally for sure, but it works. So this door, you go out, is a covered space, which there's a light switch for it out here you can turn on. And so this is just a covered space that, as you can tell, goes to the cooler. Obviously still under construction, but there's areas to hang things if we want to. We have just a few things hanged in here as far as drying, and then you can go into the cooler from here. So as you can tell from the studio, so it goes in a big circle. There's the house, here's the studio, and then if I turn you this way, this is the new area that we've got to paint. We've got to do some stairs, or I don't think we need to do a stair there. I'm just not sure what they're going to do there. They're not quite done. But this is where we make all the Christmas wreaths that are coming soon. So mark your calendar. And then it's just kind of like a little bit of a lean-to, I guess. And it keeps us out of the weather when we're doing things like holiday wreaths and things like that. It's really actually kind of nice. Okay, so we'll head this way. This is the garden that I need to redo, which is going to be later because we have some plants coming for that. It's just kind of a hodgepodge mess, which looks kind of cool, but a hydrangea we have, I think that is a Annabelle hydrangea, I want to say. And it is new and flopped over. So I need to give it some attention. So then we have some mint through here, which we use a lot in design work. And then we have the aster that it fell over in the storm and just is pathetic, and I need to pull it out. But I think I'm going to move some boxwoods through here just to give it a little more formality, and then add in a few other things. Something here on the corner, I'm not sure exactly what. New light, which is kind of fun. My brother-in-law, Sean, made this for us, just kind of retrofitted it. What I'd like to do is just put a little sign here of some sort. I think that would be really cute. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of our studio space. It's a work in progress. Another friend of ours made this light for us, and just old school type light that he had, and he gave it to us and we installed it. It was really kind of fun. But yeah, the studio is very, very cute. It's a very creative space to work in, and with these carriage doors are kind of fun. They just open up. So the carriage doors open up to this type of view here, which is really, really pretty. We can see a lot of the gardens and stuff like that. Second cup of coffee with our new creamer. I'm just going to add a little bit because I don't want it too sweet. And then we'll see how this turns out. So in the studio, we have a little coffee machine that somebody gifted us, which was really nice. And so you can have all these choices of coffee down below. So today, I think I'm just gonna do, this is just a regular Starbucks coffee pod. I don't like all the waste, but it is kind of nice just to grab yourself a quick coffee. Okay. So here is my pumpkin creamer for the fall season. Super, super good. I added quite a bit of cinnamon. I might touch that back a little bit, but it has got a very pumpkin, vanilla, spice, yummy goodness all in a cup. So I'm ready to start my day. I hope you enjoy this if you try it. And it is really, really good and just kind of sets the tone for a cozy, cozy day. And nothing better than gardening and designing with flowers. So, all right. Well, it's still early and we're just getting going here on the farm, but I'm looking forward to the day. So I'm glad you're here with us. So today for the winery, I'm using a very sleek, modern, classic white vessel. So I have one bar arrangement, and it's going to be in this footed bowl. And then I think it's going to be in the footed bowl. I haven't decided yet, actually. But then I have 10 table arrangements. And so I'm keeping the palette very fall inspired. Anyway, so I'm just going to go cut a few things for it really quick before it gets too hot and put this together. So I've just finished cutting everything. I got some dahlias, some peony foliage, a few rudbeckias, and then what else did I get? Oh, some just grasses and things like that, just to kind of give it that fall vibe. But Braden was so kind. He stopped by the studio and brought me a waffle. Oh my gosh, it's like a berry, seasonal berry waffle that down the road, there's this little town called Amity, and they have a little waffle house there that you just kind of tucked in the hole in the wall kind of thing. And he brought me one of those. So that's kind of cool. Got my breakfast, got my coffee, got my creamer in it, my new creamer that I just made for the season. It's delicious. I'm spoiling myself today. Gardening and designing all in one day. Oh, so fun. All right, so I'm gonna start on my big arrangement here, and what I'm gonna do a little bit different is I'm gonna use a little bit of this moss, which is like a reindeer moss, and we just get it at you can buy it online if you wanted to. But the reason I'm using a little bit of this is it actually helps hide. So I don't know if you've ever had a problem with like hiding your mechanics. So in this, I have some chicken wire, and it is green, and I don't want them to see it. So if you actually use just a little bit of this moss, then it will hide some of your mechanics, and you don't have to fill it, because I want this to be a very airy arrangement, not very stiff. And so I'm gonna just use a little bit of this over the top of it, and that should work pretty good. So I'm adding in some Frosted Explosion. This grass is really fun, and it just kind of fills the arrangements up and gives it a little bit of whimsy. I like it just as almost like as a foliage and texture, and this time of year it just looks really, really nice. People always comment on it, so it's one of those things that I'm just kind of filling in the base, just covering these really simple arrangements for this wine event. Jump down, jump.
Oh, look.
Okay, so over here we have that old scale, and I ended up putting this huge Rudbeckia. Isn't that just the most lovely thing ever? But that is the Rudbeckia that I picked up at one of the nurseries. Down below, Bo and I just planted in a few of these beautiful coleuses that we had left over from our hanging baskets, and then Bo tucked in the cute little white pumpkin, which I love this in this just like half barrel. It just looks so cute, just a little charming feel to it. But so that's all we did. I mean, really, really simple. Now on the carriage doors, I'm gonna go get hops and put 2 hop wreaths there. So that'll be something that we do. And then Bo helped me put this in, which is very dilapidated. It is literally falling apart, so I kind of had to help with that. But this is just some violas and pansies that we put in, and I was gonna do like a coleus and something else here, but this is what Bo wanted. And I do love the color here as well, just, you know, keeping it really simple. It's a very yellow right now, which I wanted to bring in some whites and some other colors, which we probably will do here shortly. I have a pot that is just sitting there. That's all we're doing here, because well, it's not done yet, so this is gonna have something on it. But I just ended up getting my old vintage basket and putting the rest of the pumpkins in until we know what we're doing. So I have these 2 boxwoods that I'm going to be moving out to alongside of the studio over here, and then I want to plant these up as well with something else for the holidays, so that's going to be later. And then we put these coreopsis in, and some of them, so I had a mum to go right here, and the mum sold at the farmer's market. So now all I have to do is finish planting this up with a few other things for fall. I limbed up, so you can kind of, I need to do it more, but I have a wedding that I want to use some of these rose canes for. This is the Cecil Bruner, and it gets huge, so I'm going to be cutting some of those this week. And so I just kind of limbed it up to where I could get in here and clean it out from all of the just the woodland forget-me-nots that were kind of needing to come out here. We just kind of cut them back. But this is the coreopsis, and I stepped on one of these, and so it looks a little pathetic, but they will fill out and they come back every year, so they look really, really good. And I think that will just add a little brightness to the corner of the studio here. So that's kind of it. That's all we did for the most part. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this little mini makeover, the start of fall. I hope you're getting excited as well. I know I am. I am just looking forward so much to a little bit cooler weather, and I know I'm going to regret saying that in January and February, but embracing all the seasons is what I am trying to do this year and not complain about the weather. I am just really excited for fall. And I just love the cooler weather and just being able to do a little bit more inside the home and stuff. And I'm excited to bring you all the projects that we're working on this year up at the Orchard Heights house and then here in this studio. Just a little news, we are opening up the nursery coming up September 12th. So if you're local and want to stop by, you can. We're going to have mums and pumpkins and hay bales and all kinds of things, which is really kind of fun. And just to get your fall decorating going. And what else? We have tons and tons. I'm going to do a nursery tour coming up because I got to style the nursery and get it ready for our opening. So that's going to be next week's video as well. And there's so many cool things that we just got in. I am so excited. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're having a fantastic day and your week next week. I hope it's blessed. Anyways, until next time, much success in all you do and grow, and we'll be seeing you shortly back here at the Crowley house very, very soon. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.